Righty, starting the recording, muting everybody. You may need to click a button to get some little banner off your screen because of the recording. And then I'll just say it one more time that this is the setup for standing and balance class, if you can. 2 chairs with high enough backs on them that you can use that for support while keeping posture tall. You don't have to be leaning down too low. And then a third chair set up right about here. So we've got this space in between and the chair behind. So this is our practice arena. Okay. Down just a touch. Okay. So we always start both classes, the Monday and the Friday class. We start them the same, sitting in the chair and working on just the basics of seated meditation. And of course, meditation is good for brain, mind, brain and nervous system, and body relationship. So it's just a good place to start to calibrate, to organize. So the other important piece is that the 3 important principles in Tai Chi are able to be practiced sitting. They are Zhong Zheng, Chinese term meaning central upright. So you can see here, my central upright's not great if I'm here. It's also not great if I'm overly straining my body. A lot of times we're not doing this. A lot of times we have some slouch. The other thing we're often doing is we have some sort of postural imperfection, let's say, and we try to correct it with the wrong effort. We go, oh, I'm sort of slouching. Okay, let me tighten my shoulders and pull them up and back. And so all we're doing is creating more tension. We're like grabbing on in more places. So the Tai Chi or Taoist viewpoint is simple but very elegant, very correct in my experience. So first, we have to get Zhong Zheng. We have to get our central upright. So if you're slouching, tip from the pelvis, get this vertical. Try to bring the head above the pelvis. You know, if it's out in front, you have to do a few things where you draw the chin back, crown up. On the Friday class, we take more time with joint mobilization and helping to be able to achieve this. So that's why those classes work really well together. So after you got Zhong Zheng, central upright, then Chun One, which means releasing and relaxing as your means of finding stability. So instead of holding the body to keep yourselves balanced and upright and stable, you don't do that. You relax the body. So in the chair, we can do this and feel pretty safe. When we stand up and we try to practice Chunwan, it often feels a little less stable because we're accustomed to holding the body. So let's practice that feeling here of let go and relax. Now, if I start relaxing and I think, oh, I'm going to relax and I lose my Zhong Zheng, I got to go back and say, oh yeah, no, central upright, and then relaxing everything through the body. And then the third important thing is sort of like the equal sign or the product of doing the first 2 is what's called Qing Ling, or light and nimble, fluid. So instead of be holding and sort of clumsy in the body, by relaxing, then you find, oh, all this freedom of movement becomes available. So let's just take, again, you can spend 2 minutes, 10 minutes on your own time doing this, just breathing and working on those 3 ideas. We'll just do, let's say, 10 breaths so that we can move to the next phase of practice. So you've got those 3 ideas going, and then we bring the breath in through the nose, nice, long, and full. Hold the breath full, feel that expanded state, stretching you open, saturating the system with oxygen, chi, and then exhale out the mouth or the nose, feel the body melt, feel the relaxation, feel the settling. Stay empty, don't inhale right away, just consolidate. And then when you're ready, inhale again. Holding the breath full. And when you're ready, exhale, nice, long, and smooth. Keeping the breath empty at the bottom. Just a few more breaths like this. Stability coming not from tension, but from relaxation, from settling. Breath is stretching open these places that tend to be stuck in the body. Last 2 breaths. First exercise, slide hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, chest and chin up, arch the spine. And the opposite, slide the hands forward, past the knees till your arms are straight, hollow the chest back, drop your head. Again, sliding hands, elbows, shoulder blades back, arch the back, look up with the inhale. And then with the exhale, slide the hands forward, hollow the chest, drop the head. 2 more. And settle to the middle. Second exercise, rotation. Slide left hand forward, right hand elbow back, turn, twist. And then switch. Right hand forward, left hand and elbow back, turn. And again, turn. This emphasis on freedom of movement of all the moving parts. That's the top priority in the Taoist viewpoint of how to keep this functioning body. So anywhere in our bodies that there's residue, barnacles, rigidity, stuck mechanisms, anywhere that that's happening is impacting the overall system in a negative way. And so then you take that to the next step, which is okay, then the practice needs to go and open all those places up. Hang your arms alongside you and side bend. Now to accentuate this, float your left wrist up. And just again, notice how loose and relaxed it is. I'm not swinging it, reaching it, it's just up a little. And then that allows me a little extra lean to the right. And then go tall and neutral in the middle, and then lean, and the right wrist floats up a little bit, and you just get that little soft lean. Let's go back and forth. So just keep in the mind that idea of freedom of movement. Also important to that is the Taoist concept of Li and Song. Li, definition of it is clumsy, tension-based strength, which is what most people are using all the time when they're moving. Song is soft, supple, pliable. You could think of it as hydraulic power or strength. Let's come back to middle and pause. So the body can be used with either of those two power systems. So we want to train song, soft, supple, pliable. So now from here, we got the scapula on our back. They spread apart, lift up, slide together, and down. And we do that flowing. Right, it's a major area of our body that tends to get stuck. Layer upon layer of different muscles are in that area. The scapula are like a gear or a mechanism that can do quite a lot. So you want to make sure that that is not stuck, embedded in the back, creating issues. Let's reverse. We go back, then up, forward, then down. So what that does, it's going to free up what's often stuck here, making us top heavy. We're cleaning that out. So another saying in Tai Chi, top empty. So we want to feel light and empty up here, not stuck strong and tight. We want to feel loose. And so we're clearing that out with these fluid movements of scapular retraction, elevation, protraction, depression, neutral, retract, over top. One more. And down. Bend your elbows. We flare the elbows out and up. So once again, we're trying to empty out what's stuck. And down, in front, squeeze. Down, out, and up. Down, around, and in. Down, out. And notice my hands aren't coming up here. The elbows. The hands are staying loose down, hanging out, but I'm working this movement of that mechanism. Touch. Now, elbows straight back behind you, down, forward, up, forward, down, back, down, forward, up. Again, this is a walking class, a balance class. Why are we spending time on the shoulders, right? But the more you understand how intricately connected everything is and how the body is supposed to be unimpeded flow. Otherwise, clumsiness, awkwardness, a lack of fluidity really impacts our balance. Now, elbows flare out, left hand high, right hand low, cross. So we're just kind of going through here. It's like, I simplify it down, it's like flossing your teeth. There's plaque, there's residue in the mechanisms, and the only way to get to them, right? And notice how I'm hugging the hand all the way around, hugging the hand all the way around, and then going all the way out, and then switching and going all the way around, and then opening, right? So we're getting these mechanisms to move so that they can empty. Go ahead and release. Now scoot a little bit back on your chair. Bring your right knee up and draw the heel in. So you see this spring loading, and then push away, and then reload, and put the foot down. Switch legs. So this is called chambering. Load, push, rechamber or reload, and then down. Again, load and push, and freedom of movement. Non-weight bearing exercise, brain connecting to body, and joints and tissue being flushed and pumped and moved through their full range. Same idea now with the foot and ankle. Straighten, we go point, flex, point, flex, point. Then we go tilt the foot in, out. In, called inversion and eversion. Then we circle in, around, and out. In, around, and out. Freedom of movement, full range. Switch, out, around, and in. Switch feet. Point and flex. 1, 2. 1, 2. Full range. All the way, all the way, all the way. Then tilt the foot a little in, out. A small movement, but really important. Really important for balance. Circle, in, around, and out. And reverse, out, around, and in. And down. Scoot forward, last thing with the legs here. Step your feet a little wider than hip distance. Lift your toes, keep your heels where they are, turn. So this shape here, toes point in, knees point in, internal rotation of the hip. Now lift your toes, external rotation of the hip. So we've opened this quad, or this hip space, and then close. And then open, close, open, close, open, and neutral. Back to middle. Feet hip distance, hands on your thighs. Now from that same space that we just opened and closed the legs from, fold, sit upright, lean slightly back. Again, not from the upper body, from the hips. So get to where you're able to move the whole body from just this little junction. Fold. Now add to this. Turn on the hands, elbows flare around, and fold. This helps open the back and bring out the shoulder. Now sit upright. Arms go to neutral. Lean back, keeping the arms straight. And then sit upright and turn on the hands, elbows flare around as you fold. And then sit upright, turn the arms to neutral, lean back. Let's do that one more time. Upright. Now from here, we go wide stance, turn on the hands, the dragon takes a bow. So we bow, and with the wider legs, we can dip down between the legs, between the arms, and then sit upright. Arms go to neutral, lean back a little bit, and we do it again. So from the hips, turn on the hands, bow down between, dragon takes a bow, sit upright, turn the arms, lean slightly back, and again, fold, turn, arm. So just again, we're flossing the teeth. We're getting all the plaque out. We're getting all the residue, all the stuck relationships inside the body. And again, you can be super intricate with these practices, and what I've designed through the years is like sort of the minimum effective sequence. We're doing a little more than that today than we normally do. So we're doing one more little section, this section here. Now the next movement, legs stay wide, hands are on the knees. As you lean back, tip a little bit from the hips, tip to the right. As you bow down and kind of turn the chest a little bit towards your right knee and flare the elbows out. Then you sweep across in front, stay to the left, and lean back, and then come around. It's called the dragon stirs the sea with its tail. So we're bowing, coming through, and when you get good at this one, the primary movement junction is, of course, the hips and leg junction, the quad. But you get to where you're getting every vertebra all through the back, even all the way up to the neck and head. You're getting this rolling, this sort of spiraling, loosening So ideally you were going in one direction that whole time. You did 3, maybe 4, and then switch and go the other way. Bow down and sweep through and come across and come around the backside. Around and bow, elbows flare out. Go through the shoulders as well as the hips. And around. And neutral. Bring the legs back to about hip distance. And head and neck, very important because again, stuck energy here makes us clumsy. So let's try to just do a few of these neck things before we stand up. Chin down, chin up. So go for full range. Full range. When doing this, especially if you have a tight neck, fewer repetitions of whatever the exercise is, where you maybe spend some more time holding, right? If you get to a certain position and you go, ooh, there's some tension there, you can stay. You can just hang out and wait for the tissue to give way, wait for the body to let go. But as those areas open up, then you can move freely through that range of motion. Bring your head to level and then turn the head right. Bring the head to the middle and turn the head left. Again, feel free to stay turned one way if it feels like you're wringing out the rag in a nice way. And then you come back across. A lot of times we have one side that's easier than the other. So then on your own time, when you do your own practice, you could spend more time just hanging out with your particular spots that need attention. That's why having your own home practice by yourself is such a beautiful thing, because you get to just be very precise to your own needs. Let's come back to middle. Now, note here, as I tip my head to the right, what I'm not doing is I'm not turning my head to the right. That's what a lot of people do when I say tip the head to the right, they turn. So try to focus on not turning. Back to the middle. Right? And of course, let the body move naturally, but for these head and neck exercises, you kind of are trying to not move the torso and change the position of the torso and spine. Even though a little bit will happen, you want to really try to isolate and liberate the neck and head. So each of these, maybe you're getting a little further, a little further. And then the last one in this set, so we've got side to side movements, we've got chin up, chin down movements. Now we kind of put it together. So a little bit tip to the right, chin up. So that will take your head and send it back behind you a little. Keep it back behind you, but then tip the head to the left. Now, as you keep your head tipped to the left, drop your chin down a little. That brings your head in front, and then keep it in front as you tip to the right. Tip the head back, tip left, forward. So we start small and then get larger. At first, it starts off kind of like a square, but eventually it can be a big, round, fluid, lovely, circular experience for the head and neck. And in some ways, this is the opposite of the dragon stirring the sea, because when you really get those head circles going, you'll notice your spinal column kind of going through a little bit of this spiraling as well from the top down instead of from the bottom up. Now, last time around, you go all the way until you hang your head right in front, then bring your head straight up, and you're just sitting in neutral. And then we do it the other side by tipping to the left, then back, right, then forward. Left, then back, right, and forward. And each round get a little bigger, if you'd like. Or definitely do it, just do it at the rate that is suitable. Going around. As you loosen and loosen and loosen. Again, the power of these exercises, just like the power of flossing your teeth, is not flossing your teeth one day a week and then letting the plaque build up for 6 days and then flossing it, right? That would not work. So the same rules apply here, that every day getting in touch with these mechanisms, making sure they're functioning and flowing. Right? And it takes a certain kind of weird willpower to do it, but once you get that momentum of self-practice, it's really amazing, right? Go ahead and hang your head in front as you finish, and then bring the head straight up. And then one more thing before we get up, hang your arms. Now float your arms up in front and then just drop and let them swing, and then swing them back up. Swing, 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 swing. So the main purpose of this one is to find the mechanism. Many people think the arm is just moving from here, right? The ball and socket, but it's this space here that has to be free. That has to be free, right? So that means the scapula has to be able to move in the back to get this swing, 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 and then let your arms just hang. So you don't grab them to stop them, let them come to stillness by letting go. Then go right arm and shoulder forward, left arm and shoulder back, and then swing, swing, swing. So from the same mechanisms, allow this to create a little bit of a turning point, a pivot point inside the body. And release. So that feeling is what we want to retain in the arms, shoulders, chest all the time. And when we stand up, you're going to want to tighten and hold because it's a little scary when we stand up. But from the Taoist viewpoint, that makes you more top heavy rather than when we relax. It makes us bottom heavy in the right way, where we're solid and we're grounded. Now with the feet, lift your right foot and then switch, 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 switch. Fast feet. And just notice how your body weight is supported by your chair. Now, slide your feet back a little bit. We fold at the hips. We stay loose in the shoulders. Shoulders, head, and arms in front of the ankles. And then when you stand up, stay really loose up top. Stay relaxed through the arms, through the shoulders. Remember, the tendency is to go and hold. Let go. Okay, and then to sit down, hip hinge. Now notice I did not bend my knees first. I didn't go like this to sit down, which is what a lot of people do. Instead, it's hips. Now, once I've opened this qua space, this folding qua space, now it's just folding at that qua space. And then, right? Fast feet. Feet are empty. And then when it's time to stand up, we got to fold and pour the weight out of the chair. So now the feet are not empty. Come all the way tall. And then fold and sink. And so are you using Li or Sung? Right? That's a question you ask yourself in Taoist practice. You want to not be using tension because you're actually just jamming and impeding your own mechanisms by doing that. But we're so accustomed to force and yanking that we just do it. But we're polishing that out of the system with Taoist practice, with Tai Chi. And again. Now, I just dropped a pencil on the floor. How do I get it? Use the exact same mechanism. Fold, sink, dangle those loose arms to the floor, grab the item, and then just push through the earth and come all the way tall. Right? Again, fold, knees need to bend, butt needs to sit to get you down, 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 down. Grab the item. What this is also doing for us therapeutically is the back, instead of our back being tight, the Taoist viewpoint is that we actually want the back to be able to open and bow like an archer's bow. So when you sink like this, you're doing this Taoist squat, this Tai Chi squat that takes your spinal column and bows and opens it so that the nerve flow, if you look at the anatomy of the spine, the nerve bundle, the central nervous system bundle goes down through the middle, and then the nerves come out the back and then around, right? So that's also how the chi system flows. It comes out the back and to the body. So maybe it's identical to each other, maybe it's the same thing, or maybe they flow in the same direction, right? But the idea here of sinking, opening, rising, right? That movement comes from space on the inside, not from force, not from clumsy usage of the body. It's from space, right? All this space that you see I'm using here to do cool little wiggle movements, right? That's the same space that allows me to stay balanced, to be on one leg, to be on this other leg, to lean without losing balance, to sink and pick something up. So the Taoist emphasis, which I just think is correct, is soft, supple, pliable. That's what we want to cultivate to function into our 90s, 100s, and beyond. All right. So now move closer to this right side chair and have it in front of you, off to the right. Hang your arms loose. Soft, bendable knees. And then from your middle pivot, from your belly button, represented right at the belly button, change your weight to your right leg and then to your left leg. Now, if I'm tight here, this is what you see a lot when people change. You see how there's a difference now. I've just taken my body and tipped it because I've got this tension, versus if I'm loose, I can keep perfect vertical middle and get 100% here, 0% here, and then change and go 100%, 0%. The other saying in Tai Chi, the primary direction is down. So even when I'm moving left leg to right leg, the most important part is going down through the leg to the earth. Down through the leg to the earth. So that liberates this foot down through the leg so that this foot is liberated. Down. And all this is relaxation, done by relaxation. Down. Now, change your weight to your left leg, stay in it, lift to the tippy toe. Put the heel down, change into your right leg. Other leg is empty, so it can move. Tippy toe down. Change. Tippy toe down. Now, pretty much every exercise can be done in this 4-part way, and then it moves to a 2-part way. So we've got weight change, lift, lower, weight change. I guess that's 3 parts. Weight change, lift, lower, weight change. Now, as you get better at this, as you get soft enough that your weight can just go straight to the earth, you can get up on the tippy toes simultaneously to changing your weight. You can go change and lift, change and lift, and keep this quality. So it's sort of like walking faster or running, right? It's this soft connection to the earth that allows speed to come back without sacrificing stability. Now, stay in your left leg, get to your tippy toe, hand on the chair, disconnect the foot from the floor, reconnect it down to the floor, and then change the weight. Tippy toe, disconnect, reconnect, change. So use the chair if you should, or some of you might feel like you can do this exercise, no hands. Stay relaxed. Especially if you're newer to relaxing as your means of stability, it will feel less stable in the beginning because you're accustomed to squeezing the body for stability, that when you let that go, the body has a sort of whoa, whoa. But trust that there's a stability hammock of support, a chassis underneath that, this soft quality. Hand on the chair. Now let's go full lift. So this leg doesn't go higher than this. This is maximum lift. And then all the way down. And then change the weight. Let's go maximum lift. All the way. All the way. So cleaning out the range. Freedom of movement. We want to go. Notice also, this one really important is the lift and the lowering of the leg with zero body weight. And then change. So that's often a new concept because a lot of times we'll lift, but then when this comes down, the body clunks with it, right? So be able to put the foot down, no body weight, change, lift, lower, change. Use the chair. Maybe some of you feel like you don't need to use the chair, but you better be careful. No falls. All right. Next set of exercises. Make sure you're a little bit back from the chair's off to the right. Change your weight to your left leg, put your right foot in front, heel touching, like so. The weight is here, this foot is free, it's out in front. Now, shift. This foot now free, this one connecting to the earth, shift. This one free, this one stable, shift. Now I'm moving forward and I'm moving backwards. So it'd be very easy for us to start thinking forward, backwards. But now we're doing more than we need to. Just think down. The down gives me the up, down. The relaxation gives me the down. So now I'm able to be relaxed, change, change, change. Now, level 2 of this exercise. Lift, lower, shift, flamingo, down, shift. The down gives me the up. The down gives me the freedom to come up. If I get the down right, then I can do all kinds of different things. Down, down. Right? And this one can eventually be sort of simultaneous, right? You see me speeding up, but I'm not losing stability. I don't feel less safe. I'm so relaxed that I can start to add swiftness to the movement. Let's go level 3. Up, down, change the weight. Now, it's very important. Up, in front, reach the toe back without any weight. That's a really good training to keep that connection to the earth. And then back. The down gives you the up. Down. Shift. As I'm staying down, that gives me the freedom to safely go here and go here. And then change. Down. Up. Change. Right? And as you get better at this, you can, as you change, you lift. And as you change, you lift. If you relax enough through all the parts, you really can have this speed and yet everything's chill. Switch sides. Side step. Other chair. Put the weight in your right leg. Left foot in front, heel touching, and level 1. Level 1's a great place to do no hands on anything. Just casual change. Change. Do, however, try to get to truly 0. And then truly 0. Empty. That's the saying in Tai Chi. Separate empty and full. Completely. separate. So they're not stuck, 80-20, that kind of thing. Level 2, hand on chair, lift, lower, shift, flamingo. Little bend to the knee, down. The down gives you the safety to come up. The down gives you the up. The down. 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 Right? I'm just speeding up, but make sure that you got the feeling of level 3, up, down, shift, forward and up. Stay in that front leg as you reach the toe back, empty. Shift, lift, lower, shift. And again, the feeling of loose being how you can move fast is just different than how most people are when they're going fast, speeding up. There's this tension first and then this hurrying up instead of this so relaxed that there's a swift poppiness to the movement. Switch back to the first side. Put the weight in your left leg, right foot in front. We go shift. This back foot empty, step. Shift. And then reverse. Shift. Front foot empty, step it back with no weight. Shift. Level 1 is a good time to do no hands on anything and just try to get this separate, empty, full. Shift, step, shift. Shift, step, shift. Go slow enough. Like I'm going, just this speed is faster than most people should go when they're first learning, because we're so not accustomed to truly committing to the leg that we're usually rushing it and we're stepping using that lead or that clumsy tension-based strength. But just so you can see, when you're relaxed through the tissue and joints, you can move fast. Now, level 2, hand on chair, we go lift, lower, shift. Now step over something. And then shift, flamingo. Shift, very important. Up, tuck, reach the foot back, but stay in this leg. Then shift. Little lift, lower, shift, step over something. Put the foot down. Notice my weight still hasn't changed yet. I can even put my whole foot down and my weight hasn't changed yet. And then I can change. So I'm in control of that by being relaxed, grounded, and attending to the right aspects of movement, rather than being clumsily pulled along by the tension in the body, right? Right there, right? That extension. Go back. Now, hand on chair so we can go full maximum range. When you're doing it right, from the pelvis through the spine, through your zhong, shoulders are loose and relaxed. It's kind of like you're floating the whole time. That's the sensation. It's really lovely. It's like internally inside the closed system of our body, we're actually sort of levitating or floating. There's a lightness, a suspension. We're like suspended in this matrix, where that's not happening when we're too tight and stuck or collapsed and weak. But when we have this state, there's this thing, and that's the feeling we're all looking for when we're saying, I don't feel like I can move right, I don't feel balanced, I don't, right? Switch side. Level 1, you just casual. One step forward, one step back. Remember to separate empty, full. Mountain and cloud, mountain, cloud. Mountain and cloud, right? Clouds can move, they got no problem there. But then it's got to be able to turn right into a mountain, and this becomes a cloud, and then this becomes a mountain, and this is a cloud, and then mountain, cloud. And hand on chair, lift, lower, shift, step over something. Shift, flamingo. Down, shift, up, tuck, reach. Remember that little movement, and then lift, lower, shift, step over. The down, if I'm down right, then I can do anything I want with this. If I get the down right, I'm safe, I'm balanced, I'm plugged to the earth, grounded. If I'm not tight up here, I'm not top heavy, loose. And some layer of the tension that we're trying to get rid of, go ahead, hand on chair, lift, lower, shift. Now it's this maximum, heel to butt, then knee up. Again, just like we're flossing teeth, we're getting those areas, those mechanisms to be cleared out. But some amount of the tension that impedes our correct movement is only addressed through mindfulness. Like being mindful of the fact that that's a habit we all have to tighten, to create armor. We have to be ever vigilant and going, no, relax, relax, relax. And then some of that tension is embedded that it requires practice, as in like shoulder rolls and head rolls and all the mechanism practices. So you got to be doing both. You got to have your formal practice where you get in there and get the gunk out, but also where you recognize it's moment to moment to moment to moment to moment to moment to moment all the time, keeping that easy quality. Now, move over to the left side of your space, turn and face downrange. So now we got a big runway and you got your chairs on your left for safety. Put the weight in your right leg, left foot in front, level 1. Shift, step, shift, step, shift, step, shift, step, shift, step. Going backwards, be safe, shift, step behind, shift. So when moving forwards and backwards, remember the primary direction is not is always down, down, down. And at first we have to remember to go down, but when we really find it, we just stay down. It's always down. Body's relaxed, always connected, grounded. And then that's when the movement starts to really feel snappy, free. Level 2, if you'd like to. Level 1, stay with it, a little safer. But level 2 adds this challenge of stepping over something with each step. It's a test to see, you know, how much you've released that lead, that tension-based strength. All right. No rush, but get back to that starting position and then turn and face forward. And you're at the far left side of your space. Put the weight down through the left leg, step the right foot out and back in, and then out and back in. You're going to do that a few times. Out, in, out. Now, notice that I can speed this up because it's empty. There's nothing in this leg. How is there nothing in this leg? It's all here. My body is arranged to the floor through this leg. So now That's that freedom. Now, the moment I start going clunk, 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 you see how my body is clumsily getting pulled with the leg. So this is the quad. This space here that's closed, open, closed, open, closed. Now, open it, step it out. Now, close, keep this foot on the ground, open. Now, this should be empty. Now, go back. Close the left quad, open the right quad. And then close the right quad, open the left. Pelvis, spine, and head, Zhong still intact. I'm not leaning and leaning at all. It's just space, space. Now, stay in your right leg with left quad open and then bring the left foot in, left foot out. In, out, in. The other important thing is you can see when I step this foot out, my whole foot is on the ground. I'm not doing this. That's a lot of times what people do. They do something like this, and that doesn't really open this area. So getting out there and getting the whole heel down, that opens this space. Close, open, close, open, close, open. Now close. And very important, feet together, change the weight down through your left leg. Change the weight down through your right leg. So this really helps this mechanism, belly, lumbar, quad, this mechanism inside, this ability to change, 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 right? And you can see this is empty. Change. This is empty. Change, change. Now the weight stays down through the left, step the right. Change, weight goes down through the right, step in the left. Change, step, change, step, change, step, change, step, change. Other way, change. Down gives me the freedom. So this is where I often like to bring in, especially from the Friday class, if you've come, you would know the bear washing paws in the stream, or the hands play with clouds, or brushing and push, right? There's all these different movements, but this is our first advanced Tai Chi practice, is where first stand like this, shift to the right leg, turn, rotate a little bit, and then shift to the left, turn. So notice also how what I'm not doing is really torquing the body. In fact, all I'm doing is using the same quad space to turn. Shift, turn. So the space here is still that primary place of the movement. And then when we've got that going, then we add this freedom of the hands, and there's all these different movements, but this first one, the bear washing paws. So this is brush knee, this is sweep leg. So I shift and turn, turn, brush and sweep. Then those hands turn around and it's shift and turn and brush and sweep. Shift, turn, brush, sweep. Now we add that with the walk. That's what makes it advanced Tai Chi, is shift, turn, brush, sweep, step in. Shift, turn, brush, sweep, empty foot steps out with no body weight. Shift and turn, brush and sweep, left leg empty, steps in. Shift and turn, brush, sweep, right foot empty, steps out. So now we're getting this fluid. All the mechanisms, the spine, the scapula, the layers of muscle tissue getting loosened, spirals, right? The arm is turning and then turning back and then turning again and turning again. And this is just the most beginning level use of these mechanisms. And already, if you do it right, you can Really feel your back opening up, your hips loosening, your ability to ground, your center, your middle. This feeling of, like I was saying, floating. Rather than sort of, let's say, clumsy, we're stuck in our bodies, we're just kind of, whoa, right? Versus, whoa. Right. And settle to the middle. Now come to the space between your two chairs. Put all the weight through your left leg. Right leg empty, externally rotate, turn it out, and turn the hips a little bit and turn the body a little bit so that you're now looking over to this right side of your space. But the weight should still just be in your left leg. Now turn back to neutral, so the foot turns back, the body turns back. And then internally rotate the foot. So the heel goes out, the toes turn in, and turn the hips and body so that you're looking towards this corner. So this is more of a closed position, right? You're sort of pinching closed at the quad. And then go to the open position. So now you're turning open, turning the right leg out, and turning your body and your head to look that way, right? And this left leg, this leg isn't changing. Everything else, however, is. Turn. 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 Right? I can even look all the way around behind me and then turn and look all the way over there without losing stability, if you're doing it right. If your emphasis is on one leg plugging you to the earth, everything else loose. Everything else free. Switch legs. Come back to neutral with the right leg. Change the weight into it. And let's turn open, turn the left leg out, the body out, look over this way. And then turn the toes in, the leg in, the hips in, and look the other way. The right leg doesn't change. Focus on that idea. Your right leg is the stable leg. Everything else floating. At first, that's difficult because the right leg is not accustomed to holding all the weight and doing all the work. So it's weak, it's fatigued. But as that gets stronger, then all of a sudden, this movement, this freedom of movement is available. Okay? Now, put all the weight through your left leg. Turn your right leg out, your body out. Now, shift the weight into the right leg and bring your left foot around to match it. So you just quarter turn to the right. Put the weight in your left leg, right foot turns out, turn the body out. So reorient yourself to your right, and then just shift the weight into the right leg, bring the left foot to match it. And then put the weight through the left leg, empty right leg, turn the leg and the body to the right, orient to the right, see what's to your right. So go to your right, so you go around in a full circle to the right. And after you're on your fourth one, you should be somewhere around facing forward again. Let's do that one more time. So the weight down through the left leg, everything else is loose, turn. The weight down through the right leg, bring everything around to orient to the right. Weight down through the left leg as you turn the right leg out. Weight down through the right leg as you bring the left foot to match. Those of you who've been doing it a while, note that you can do it simultaneously, right? As my weight's going down through the left, I turn. As my weight's going down through the right, I bring it along. So that's where speed will come back to you if you get this Tai Chi stuff down. But first, you got to slow down enough to attend to the things that I'm pointing out. Otherwise, it's always going to feel clumsy and rushed or whatever, right? So that's why Tai Chi emphasizes practicing slow, not because you're going to be stuck moving slow for the rest of your life. That's not the point, right? The point is you slow down to find the pivot points and the precise movement, then you move with great efficiency. Weight down through the right leg, turn the left foot out. Change the weight in the left foot, bring the right foot around. Change the weight of the right leg, left foot turns out. Notice, did you spill the teacup on your head? If you did, that means you whipped yourself around instead of finding the middle pivot. That middle pivot. That floating quality in the middle. That's only sustainable and achievable with soft. Soft. Not sloppy soft, but unhindered, unimpeded. Now, instead of turning out, turn in, change the weight, bring the left foot to match. Do it again. Empty the right foot, turn in, this little pigeon-toed position, right? And you could imagine there's something coming from your left side, and it's coming at you, and you don't want to turn into it. You actually want to sort of retreat from it, but orient to it, right? So you're going boom, boom. And so it has practical value, but for our purposes, it's really about mastering your mechanisms. So this is something the body's able to do. We want to be able to do it. Let's go the other way. Left foot, instead of turning out, turn in, change the weight. Turn in, change. Turn in, change. In. Go around twice. It's also good practice of not getting dizzy. Just keep your vision soft and just see. Don't let yourself kind of get spinning out of control. Scan the area. And then our last thing we'll do for today, putting those two together. Right leg turn out. Change the weight into the right leg and turn the left foot in. So now I went 180-degree turnaround in 2 foot movements. Do it again. Right leg turns out. Change the weight into it. Left foot turns totally in. And now I'm able to be back where I started. Try that again. 1. Turn in. Turn out. Another direction. Right leg full, turn left leg out, then fill the left leg, right leg is empty, turn in. Left leg empty, turn out. Opening, close. Opening, close. Opening, and facing forward. Feet about hip distance, palms together. Back of one hand, palms. Back of other hand, palms. Qua, either side, groin area there. Hip flexors. Tailbone. Lumbar. Now, as if you're doing that squat, sweep the hands down the outside of the legs, around the feet to the inside, stand all the way up to the navel. Again, quad, hip flexors, tailbone, lumbar, right? Both hands. And then yang channels, yin channels, navel. And finally, one more time. 3, a magic number. And then the final reset, yang channels, yin channels off. Again, yang and yin. Same arm, yang and yin. Switch. That little spiral. You can eventually get really. And we finish with what's called shogun, or closing gesture. Middle embrace, the belly. Belly, low back, hips. This section of the body is that mechanism that gets stuck, and then we don't move so well. So, right? So this emphasis in this practice of the middle. All right, thank you, everybody. Here's the hand mudra to finish. Boom, boom. Looks like a little yin-yang symbol. Thank you. Make sure you know where your chair is when you go to sit down. If you have any questions or thoughts or insights, feel free to share. You have to unmute to do so.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great job. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
It's easy for my knees to lock.
Yep.
I put weight in them.
Yep.
And they're wobbly if I don't put weight, if I don't tighten them up.
Yep.
So suggestions on that?
Don't lock your knees. I'm just kidding. But it is the case that you and everybody else, myself included, do that unless we understand and practice not doing it. Kind of that simple to some degree, even though, and what I would say is your best bet would be, let's say you're watching TV or you're listening to something and you're sitting in your chair. Instead of sitting down, stand up, shift your weight into one leg, arrange your body, and have that knee a little bit bent, and empty the other foot, and just kind of have the toe touching the ground, but get to where that leg's in the correct, slightly bent position and working, quivering.
Trying to strengthen it.
Yeah.
The muscles must not be.
Yeah, because part of it's muscular, part of it's the brain. The brain and the nervous system coordination is also what is missing because we're so accustomed to locking it out. So a certain arrangement of all the symphony that needs to be together, you've only been letting the clarinets and the trumpets play, and you got to get the cellos and and the other things, and you got to bring the timpani has to quiet down a little. Some things have to stop doing what they're doing, but a lot of it's just more of the whole mechanism has to get brought on. And so walking is great, right? Oh, make sure you walk 2 miles or whatever. But a lot of times people are walking for distance, but their each footfall and their form and their mechanisms, they're just not right. So they're training the wrong thing. So that's why something as simple as standing on one leg in the correct position and feeling that quiver, use a walker, use a cane, use a chair to spend time in the correct leg position, and then switch, and then switch, and then switch a minute on each, or 10 seconds, or 30 seconds, or whatever, but get that dialed in from the brain and the muscular level. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's the complex answer to what I was sort of jokingly saying, don't bend the knees.
Right.
It's kind of what I mean by it, right? Anything else?
Right. Especially when you don't have cartilage left in there.
That's the other piece of the puzzle, is that each of you guys have specific limitations, but correct form is always a good idea. That's the good thing. There's certain things that no matter what's going on, you still do that. You still attend to, right?
Thank you.
All right. Anything else?
You're not here next week?
Oh, that's correct. Yes, I'm not here next week. So I'm going to Lake Havasu or Havasu Falls or something. I keep saying Havasupai, but people, I know that's one of the things. There's like an Indian reservation, and So there was just a
Cool.
flash flood. There was a flash flood in the area, and I think someone died. And so it's currently closed. So we'll see, one, if I'm able to go, and two, if I even get back. If I go, maybe I'll be washed away.
You'll be back.
Hopefully not, but you never know.
But you'll be
All right.
here on Friday?
This Friday, yes.
Okay,
Next Friday, no.
okay.
Okay,
Okay, bye.
see you.